Hey everybody, this episode of The Horror Show is brought to you by Holly Campbell and Christopher Rousseau. Thank you guys so much for donating. They donated over at patreon.com/IHateHorror, where I'm currently live streaming this episode through video. So they're watching me talk by myself. All right, guys, this episode, well, let's just get into it. Hello, everybody, and welcome to The Horror Show, the show that dissects, mutilates, dismembers, and butchers all of your favorite and not so favorite horror movies and other horror-related events. I'm Sean. No, Joe. Oh, my God. It is a solo Sean show, and we know how these go. They're awkward, they're uncomfortable, and nobody likes them. So welcome to the solo Sean show. So we're going to start this episode off with some good and bad news. Good news. Joe had his baby. Baby Shay is here. Thanks to everyone that commented and, said things, nice things to Joe. We really appreciate that. Well, he I don't really care. I mean, I do care. Oh boy, we're off to a rocky start already. All right. So thank you guys so much, though. Really, it's nice to know how much you guys care about Joe and his baby, baby Shay. So congratulations to Joe. That's awesome. Bad news time, though. Oh, no one likes bad news. So as of today, October 2nd, Joe's not going to be able to make the Salem Horror Fest event on October 14th. So I don't know what's going to happen. I'm going to go up no matter what. So I'll be there. I don't know. The show's probably going to be cut short. I think maybe a half hour max is what I can do. There's no way I can stay on stage for an hour by myself. Like, I'd be fucking dead. So I think what I'm going to try and do is I'm going to try and put together like a half hour and hope it comes out okay. I don't even know, man. Like it's brutal. So we'll figure it out. So I don't know what Salem Horror Fest is going to do. I don't know if you guys bought tickets or anything, like just for the podcast and not the movies. Let me know and I'll try and make that right for you guys. That is if Salem doesn't, but I don't think that they'd have an issue with that. I have to talk to them too about that. So Joe's not going to make it to that. So, sorry, it's just going to be me up there, but I'll be there. I'll hang out. I'll do some shots. Is that what the kids do nowadays? So that's that. I think he's still going to make Chicago. Hopefully. And that's in November 17th and 18th, at Days of the Dead in Chicago, Illinois. We'll be at the Bloody Disgusting table. Jacob and Tab from Test Pattern will probably be there for a little while also, if you want to come hang out with them. But we should be out there hanging out, getting silly with you guys. And that's it. That was the only bad news I had, which probably doesn't affect most of you, but it affects me a lot. I don't know what I'm going to do. I am going to cry on stage. So if you want to see a grown man piss himself, and yeah, that's the place to be, Salem. Saturday, October 14th. Oh, there is other bad news. The other bad news is so he's not going to make Salem, and then because of Baby Shay's arrival, let me just pull up a calendar here. we're going to probably, the next time you hear from Joe will probably be October 24th. 4th? Why did I just say 4th? So weird. Probably October 24th. So that's 2 weeks, 3 weeks. It's 3 episodes without Joe. I don't know what I'm going to do next week. I don't know. I'm right in the heart of October too. So we'll figure out something. I don't know what we're going to do the last 2 episodes. Oh, look at that. Halloween is an episode. All right. So everyone, we are also, that's it for the updates and the news. If you're joining us on Patreon right now, patreon.com/IHateHorror, I'm live streaming this episode for our Patreon fans because I figured they're supporting us through this nightmare of the next 3 weeks. It's the least I can do for them, right? So it is the first episode of October. So I hope you guys are doing some spooky stuff. These solo Sean shows are a fucking nightmare. Like a total fucking nightmare. The fucking hate mail we get for like our regular shows bad. Like if somebody really wanted to destroy me, like this would be the way to do it. Like just talk about my solo Sean stuff. So before we get into, so we're going to do a few things on this solo Sean show. We're going to do, like one thing. We're going to do listener mail. Which we got a ton of, which is going to be awesome. I hope to get everyone in. Definitely not going to be able to, but as you heard, Joe will not be around for a couple weeks, so I'm sure I could squeeze it in next week for you guys. So we have that. And then I also wanted to go over our Halloween. Everyone does 31 movies in October. We're doing things a little bit differently. Or I'm doing things a little bit differently. No one's doing anything differently except me. So check that out. It's twitter.com/IHateHorrorShow or just at IHateHorrorShow, whatever. And then I posted my list and I did a mix up of like TV shows and movies. Cause to me, like everyone gets so caught up in this like horror movie thing. As I host a horror podcast. But like, to me, October is just like so much more than that. Like Halloween in October is so much more than that. And like, I mean, it really is a nostalgic thing. I think that's why we all sort of like it. There's like this nostalgia behind it. And there's that nostalgia of being a kid during that. And like, I always want to capture that feeling in October, like just that feeling of like mystery and like fun and stuff. So my 31 days is not strictly horror movies. It's movies, TV, TV specials, things like that. And also like everyone always puts like their favorite horror movies. You got to throw in some shit you've never seen. Cause that was always like one of the cool parts of Halloween, right? You would watch like horror movie marathon on like AMC or something. And you'd get to check out these movies you had never seen before. And, I don't know. That's really important to me. So check that out. Twitter.com/IHateHorror. I was going to do a contest this month. Maybe I still will. I don't know. But I was going to do a contest to see who could come up with the best 31 days of October, 31 days of horror entertainment. I don't know what you'd call it. I was going to see, because Joe had a really great one where he did every week was like a theme. So he did like a vampire week and a Frankenstein week and a werewolf week. And it was really cool. And I was like, now that would be a great contest for fans where we could, if there's some more guidelines to it instead of just like all over the place. So I don't know, maybe I'll run that later this month in like the next couple of weeks, but what good would that do at that point? I don't know. I'll figure something out, guys. So anyway, let's get to these fucking listener emails. All right. We have Mark Stevanovsky. I think I pronounced that correctly. He says, "Hey, Sean, first-time caller, long-time listener, etc. For movies that your listeners haven't seen yet, do you think it's better to watch first and listen to your show or vice versa? See you in Salem in a few weeks." Oh, God. Mark. Well, Mark, first of all, I'm sorry about Salem because it's just going to be me. And then that's like a really interesting question. Like, I really This question seems so simple. Like you think the answer is just, of course, you watch the movie first and then listen to the commentary. And I know that's what most people do. But like, I'm so interested in like the statistics of that. Like when people find out about the show and like message us saying like, oh, I just found your show and I really like it. I'll always email them and just be like, hey, like, what do you do? Like, how do you listen to it? How'd you find us? And like, what is your like listening habits? I've seen people that just listen to episodes that I've talked to them. They just listen to episodes that they've seen the movie. So they're not even going out of their way to find the movies and watch them. So they can always listen to every episode. They're just like, oh yeah, I've seen that movie. I'll listen to that episode. And it's so fascinating to be like, it's legitimately fascinating. Like it's cool. I don't know. So I'm really interested in it. I think about it all the time, just how people like listening habits and things like that. So to me, before we started doing this podcast, I would listen to some movie podcasts, like How Did This Get Made and stuff. And I think I saw maybe like 1% of the movies and never watched them, never did anything. And I could listen to those shows and still laugh at every episode, like really laugh. So I'm definitely like in this weird minority. But this is an interesting question because like there's like a couple ways you could look at it. And I guess it depends on the mood you're in. Because I feel like if you listen to it first and then watch the movie, you're first of all going to have a predetermined thought on the movie. You're probably like, if we hate it, you're probably going to hate it. Like there's probably the chances of you like listening to us beat the shit out of a movie and then watch it and be like, well, that was pretty good, are probably pretty fucking slim. But I don't know. Like, I feel like if you're in a mood for like more fun or humor or whatever, I think that might be the way to go. Just because like, I don't know. I imagine like listening to us hear those jokes and then watch the movie. You're kind of getting like double the laughs, in my opinion. Like, and that's how it was with those podcasts that I listened to. If I caught the movie later on, like I'd be laughing all over again thinking about it because I was like, oh yeah, that's so fucking funny. Like I was already laughing because I could visualize it or whatever. But to see it on the screen afterwards is good. And then of course, if you did it the opposite way, of course, watching it and then listening, of course, of course, that's the answer. And of course that makes sense. So everything I just said is you can ignore, but I get it. Like I get it, but it's a cool question. I don't know. Eric Whitman, he says, okay, so I know that this is a horror podcast, but I hear you guys make references to pro wrestling from time to time, and I happen to be a huge fan. So I was wondering, who are some of your favorite wrestlers of all time, and what do you think of the current state of wrestling in the WWE? Do you like Roman Reigns? Do you think there will be a Shield reunion? And if there is, will it boost Roman Reigns or drag down Seth and Dean? Will CM Punk ever return? Now, obviously, you don't have to answer all these. Well, thanks for telling me now, Eric. But they are an example of some things I would like to hear your opinion on. I'll also ask if you think The Undertaker will wrestle again, just to kind of tie it into horror, I guess. Anyway, thanks again for doing the show. It's awesome. Take it easy. Eric, well, wrestling, I'm going to try. We got so many wrestling emails. It's crazy. It's crazy. Me and Joe should probably just start a wrestling podcast like on the side. So I'm just going to answer these quick so I don't bore the non-wrestling fans, because it's funny, non-wrestling fans fucking hate wrestling. Favorite of all time, Dusty Rhodes, Abdullah the Butcher, and Bruiser Brody. And to kind of drag this question out to make this show a little bit longer, and because I like to talk, I like guys like those are older wrestlers like from the 80s and stuff. And those dudes are like, I was just talking to somebody about this. My influences for this podcast are not podcasts. They are all different forms of art or media or whatever. And even like guys like Abdullah the Butcher and Bruiser Brody kind of play into what I want to be as a creative person. They were like rogue. I don't even know how you explain it to non-wrestling fans, but these guys were like, they didn't give a fuck. They went from company to company. They did whatever the fuck they wanted. They acted like fucking assholes. They would demand money and leave. Like they are wild dudes, like legitimately wild. And they just like cut themselves open and just wild. Brutal matches and like really talented dudes, but also just, they didn't give a fuck. Like wrestling was just like whatever. I want to call them like avant-garde, but they're not really avant-garde. They're just, I don't know how to explain it, but like I like that they were just themselves, and there's something I admire about that. Like there's something I really admire about that, and they were just like so punk rock for like pro wrestling. Like even though they were just, and they're not punk rock guys, but they have that like mentality. They just didn't give a shit. They bucked the system, and it's always what I like strive for in like basically anything I do. I don't watch WWE that much anymore, like occasionally. I read all the news though and stuff. I don't really care about Roman Reigns or the Shield, and no CM Punk, no Taker, hopefully. So those are my answers to that. So non-wrestling fans, you can stop pulling your hair out now as I continue on, but don't worry, there's like 3 more wrestling questions. So Ryan Sawyer, would Mr. Magoo survive Don't Breathe through a combination of sheer dumb luck and coincidences? I think that's what we talked about on that episode. Mr. Magoo would survive. Yeah, Mr. Magoo would survive, of course. Mr. Magoo, that motherfucker, that's all he is dumb luck and coincidence. Yeah, of course he'd survive. That would be tough, though. It would be tough. I mean, that's blind versus blind, so I don't know. Maybe it wouldn't work out as well as I think. Legend Harry, I like that name, on Twitter. Where in the world do you think the best horror movies are made? Also, who makes the worst? Oh, that's a good fucking question. So I think the answer is both America and America, but that's not my actual answer. But it is the answer, right? Because America should always be in the argument just because of how many they make. And they do make good ones. Like there's definitely good ones in there, but we churn out so many fucking movies. Some other countries like benefit from like the concentration. Like they only put out a handful, and that handful is awesome. And they don't have that like luxury. So I don't know. I think like if you really look big picture, like you have to say it's America and America. They put out so many shitty ones and so many good ones. My heart answer though, best is New Zealand. 100%. I fucking love New Zealand movies like Dead Alive, Brain Dead, Bad Taste. I know Dead Alive and Brain Dead are the same. Black Sheep, What We Do in the Shadows, the new ones like Deathgasm and Housebound. I think Turbo Kid might be Canadian. I don't know. I think it might be Canadian. I shouldn't say that. So, but anyway, Deathgasm and Housebound alone, like, fuck, like, are you serious? Like, those 2 movies were incredible. The way they mix in humor and gore, it's amazing. And like, it's definitely like, you can see Peter Jackson's influence in all of those movies. Like, you could, like, clearly he's like those guys' heroes. Like, I think that's obvious. Eddie Foote, homeboy Eddie Foote. If you could make your own horror movie with a large Hollywood budget, what would it be about, and what would be the title? That's pretty hard. I don't know. Like, Joe and I talk about this like from time to time, and I think if given the opportunity, Joe would make a movie. Like, I really do think that. Like, I think he would try. And I don't mean that like he couldn't do it, but like I think like if somebody was like, "Would you like to make a movie?" He'd be like, "Yeah, why not? I'll give it a shot." I don't know if I would. I don't think I could. I don't know. There's something I'd be interested in the process, but like I don't know. Like if I did, it would have to be like the most fucked up movie of all time, because I just like those weird. I like those weird ass movies. Like it'd have like a big dumb long title and like a weird title and just avant-garde bullshit. Just like all those movies that I love that we talk about that are like just straight trash. Dude, like The Greasy Strangler, I fucking love. I love it. I would love to make something bizarre like that. Like, I don't know. But that's kind of a cop out because I didn't really answer your question. All right, so here, I'll come up with a plot here. Here we go. All right. I've got an idea. All right. So first of all, it'd have to be like super fucking grainy, like grainy and grimy and gross. And like shot on film for sure. Like I ain't fucking with that digital shit. All right. And you know those movies like, I love that I'm asking you guys a question. Like you can answer me. You know those movies like Abe Lincoln and like Abe Lincoln Abe Lincoln fucks Dracula and shit. What's the other ones? Like, oh shit. The other one's like, the blind girl. She had scarlet fever. Helen Keller. Helen Keller had a horror movie too. I can't remember what it was. I was like Helen Keller meets the werewolves or something. So, except I would do it in the 80s and the subject would be Gigi Allen. Gigi Allen or like some other like fucking 80s punk rock acts. Or maybe, okay. How about like all the New York City punk acts, right? Oh my God. Wait a minute. Now I really want to make this movie. So I definitely do it on, all right. So the subject would be Gigi Allen, like 80s punk rock bands. I don't know, like Blondie, the Ramones. I don't know, throw in some other ones. I can't think of them off the top of my head. Agnostic Front. I think they're from New York City. Fuck, you throw the Beastie Boys in there too. Anyway. But the focus is fucking Gigi Allen. The rest are side pieces that are just fun cameos. You get like some celebrities to play them. And now normally I'd go like zombie route. Like I love zombies. I always have. But they're played out now. Fucking played out. I look like an idiot. So I don't want to look like an idiot. So overdone. So what I'm going to do is go monsters. Kind of like Waxworks or Monster Squad. So it's like a squad led by Gigi Allen, and they have to fight all the monsters in New York City. That is a fucking movie. Dude, somebody fucking call me. That's my fucking script. I'll write it right now. By the way, remember when I said I would never make a movie at the beginning of this? No, that's fucking dope though. Gigi Allen fighting monsters with like fucking Joey Ramones with the hair in their face. Oh man, that is such a good idea for a movie. Anyway, I don't know what I would call it though. I would need a good name, like punk. I don't know. I need to workshop that because it's got to be the perfect name. Destiny DiMattei, what's your favorite short story or novel in the horror genre? Well, I'm illiterate, so I don't have a favorite. I just don't read a lot. I'm trying to be better, but now I found audiobooks and like, dude, that's the best thing ever. But I did read Salem's Lot recently, and I really, really liked it. That was really cool. And then I did it on the audiobook, and that was amazing, but it was long, really long. It was like 6 hours. But I think Salem's Lot, I really enjoyed, like genuinely enjoyed. Like it was just a random pick. I was just like, oh, I'll just read this. And like Joe's like, it's really good. And it was amazing. And if I had to choose nonfiction, which I read a lot of, I can read nonfiction forever. It's just I can't read fiction. If Chins Could Kill by Bruce Campbell. That is like, if you're into filmmaking and stuff, that is the book to read, in my opinion. James, aka the Diary of Defeat on Instagram, says, what is your favorite way a killer or monster gets defeated and why? Keep up the great work. Thanks, James. This is really hard because I have such a shitty memory. I'd probably say, I think I have to go with the brain dead lawnmower scene. And I feel like that I feel like a lot of people would say that, but it's so cool. I just can't think of like a specific way anyone dies that like really stands out, like it impresses me. Cause like even like the Freddy and Jason ones, like they come back to life. So like, I don't know, it takes something away from the kill. I think I'm going to go Brain Dead though. I just had another one and I can't remember what it was. Yeah, I guess that's what I'll do. Brain Dead. That's my answer. Sticking to it. Adam Burke. Hey guys, hope you're well. Well, I'm well. Here's my question for the show. Did you see the new music video, Christine, by John Carpenter, and the behind-the-scenes filming of the music video? Were you excited to see Carpenter directing content again? What are your thoughts on next year's Halloween movie? Bearing in mind that the story will be a continuation of Halloween 2 and will remove all other movies after that out of the equation. I have seen the music video. I didn't think anything of it. Like he looks old. John Carpenter is old. Fun fact. Old as shit. Looks old as shit. When he's in that car, he's like, ugh, to the girl, like waves her over to the car window. Get out of here, man. Get out of here with that shit. That dude is so old. No girl would ever get in the car with that guy. I mean, if you knew he was John Carpenter, of course we'd all get in the car with him, but he's not. I mean, it was all right. It was all right. I mean, was I excited to see him directing content again? Sure. I don't know. I felt like it was kind of like a whatever. Listen, man, I'm such a whatever. I'm such a miserable prick. And thoughts on Halloween movie. So me and Joe talked about that. We don't really talk about a lot of current movies. Joe's like way more excited than I thought he was going to be. I'm not so optimistic. I mean, even like what you say, Adam says, like, will they stop at 2? I don't know. Is that what they're even going to do? Fucking Jamie Lee was in like H2O and that other stupid piece of shit. I think she dies in like 5 minutes. Spoilers. I don't know though. I don't know. Like I'm excited, but I'm not. Like it'll be cool. Will it though? Dude, isn't fucking Michael like 75 years old at this point? He was like 21 in the first movie. Like, I don't get it. And Jamie Lee's fucking old as shit too. I'm a fucking ageist. Cassie Ebert, daughter of the great Roger Ebert. It's not true. I have a question for you, she says. What age did you first get into horror? When did your parents introduce you? And when do you think you will introduce your kids to the genre? I think I've talked about this in a previous Solo Sean episode. It's a weird question, especially if you don't have kids. So first of all, I got exposed like really young, but I think it was a different time. Like you would kind of just like, I mean, like they had, like, I don't know. It's so fucking weird. So it's so weird. I don't know. So it's like a multi-leveled question. I'm just thinking in my brain. I'm sorry. So first I was introduced really young. I want to say like 6 or 7. My dad showed me basically everything. And I've said it before. He showed me them. He showed me Motel Hell. He showed me The Exorcist. We started with them and those cheesy B movies, and then worked our way up to like Motel Hell, which he was like, I love this movie. And then it just got worse from there. When do you think you will introduce your kids to the genre? It's a weird question. Like I get this a lot. I see a lot of people exposing their kids at like a super young age to it. Personally, to me, I was under, I don't know, like I guess it was like a little more conservative thinking in a way, but not. It was weird. You have kids and it like fucks with your brain. Like the chemicals all change in your brain, and you like just think differently than you used to. In my brain, in my thoughts, and this, every kid is different, so like everyone's gonna have a different answer, and that's fine. That's fine. In my brain, though, I thought, like, not only did I not want to expose him to that stuff too early, just for like fear purposes and things like that, and just not things he needs to see. But also I wanted him to like be himself, and I didn't want to have him be like I every adult that has a child has a need, a want to like pass on who they are to their kids. Cause it's like, well, I loved this and it was really fun and it made me like this person I am today. And it makes sense. Like it's biological to do that. But in my head, I was never like that. I wanted him to become his own person and I wanted him to not like horror movies because my dad like was like, sit down and watch this with me. And even if you weren't like that, like your kids see it, right? Like even if you're like, I love horror movies, like your kid's gonna be like, I love horror movies. So I wanted him to like be his own person, but it's definitely rubbed off because I have some horror paraphernalia and I like horror movies and we love Halloween in our house. So it rubbed off regardless. He is obsessed with fucking monsters. He's 4.5 years old, like obsessed with monsters. Like I can't even tell you, like Frank, like the Universal lot. And we just showed him after like a week-long debate. Me and my wife were like, can we show him Abbott and Costello Meet Frankenstein because it's got all the monsters in it? And I was like, I don't know, man. Like I feel like there's like some scenes in that might like fuck him up, like a Wolfman transformation or something. Like I was like, I remember he tears up the room, but I couldn't remember in detail. And ultimately we were like, you know what, let's just show it to him. Like it'll be good. And he fucking loves it. Not only does he love the monsters, but he thinks like Abbott and Costello are like the two funniest people, which cracks me up that my son's watching like this ancient shit. And he calls them Abby and Cassie or something like that. He says it so fast. He's like, Abby Cassie meet Frankenstein is what he calls it. Abby Cassie Meet Frankenstein. It's so weird. It's so cute. I was actually going to have him on to talk about it. Maybe next week I'll do that. But yeah, so he's obsessed with monsters like all year. Monsters. So I guess he's already introduced. So it didn't last long. But like, you know what? Like if people are asking or curious, like what I think, like just let your kids be kids for a while. Like let them do their own thing. If they fall into it, that's fine. Like whatever. But you know, let them be kids for a while, man. Like, look at the fucking news like today. Shit, like that sucks. Like these kids get to like lose their innocence so young. Like what elementary school kid isn't going to understand what happened? Like whatever. This is getting weird and political. But all I'm saying is like let them be kids. Like let them enjoy some fun stuff before you're like, hey, watch this guy get his head fucking cut off. All right, Adam Lash. That was fun. My question for the Solo Sean show, Bruce Campbell at Sushi Onita, exploding ring. This is another pro wrestling question. No rope barbed wire death match. Who wins? He also told me I could replace Bruce with Ash from The Evil Dead, obviously. I don't even know why I'm taking long to answer this because literally no one listening knows this. Who Onita is. But fucking Onita, of course, man. Don't be stupid. I mean, I guess if Ash had a chainsaw, although I think Onita still might be able to beat him. He's got a second question here. Gun to your head. You have to make passionate love to Tom Atkins or Lance Henriksen. Who do you choose and why? Well, that's a tough one, Adam. As always, thank you for the questions, Adam. You're great. Like Lance Henriksen, he's got the bod, right? Like his bod is, he's chiseled from granite. The man. Are we? First of all, let's talk about them in their prime. I'm not talking about present day because I don't think I have to make passionate love to either geriatric man. Lance Henriksen, though, in his prime, chiseled bod. But as we've said before, face of just a fucking rough face. Tom Atkins, all around generally, in my opinion, unattractive. But like, I just feel like he'd be the more gentler or more gentle. I feel like he'd be the more gentle lover of the two. So I'd probably go Tom Atkins. I'm not into the physical violence. Dre, one of our Patreon guys in the chat, he says he'd choose Henriksen, but make Michael Ironside narrate the session. That fucking tickles me. Yeah. You have to, final question. Adam's sticking 3 in here, huh? You have to book a pro wrestling event featuring people from horror movies. What matches do you book? Who goes over and who gets color? Somebody actually asked this last time too. We have way too many wrestling fans. I mean, I think I would go like all Survivor on it, like, because everyone always wants to do like Freddy versus Jason and stuff like that. Nah, fuck that noise. Go the Survivor route. Make the survivors fight each other. You know, King of the Ring style. So it's a tournament. What you lose, you're eliminated. You're out of here. And yeah. Final girls, final guys. Get them all in there, battle it out, duke it out, and we'll find out who the real fucking survivor is. How about that? Freddie Yip. He says, with the amazing news of Joe's new baby, I have a burning question that needs an answer. Oh boy. When baby Shay inevitably begins training to be a pro wrestler, how would you book her character? Is she a clean baby face that cherishes the approval of the fans, a dastardly heel that cheats to win, the anti-hero that forever changes women's wrestling? I'll let Joe answer that. I think baby Shay, though, I mean, I don't know her. I'm going to go heel, though. She's a heel. She's going to be able to work that crowd like no one else. I would also love to hear Joe's answer, since obviously he needs to start off as her Bobby Heenan-esque manager, the father-daughter duo for the new generation. I like it. He says, one other question. 2017, more wrestling. 2017 Halloween Havoc. The main event is a hardcore match between Big Ed from The Mutilator and blind Kevin Nash from Don't Breathe. A true grudge match. What horror weapons are underneath the ring? The blind guy from Don't Breathe. Well, definitely a gun that he'll shoot really close to you, but never actually hit you. And then definitely a fucking boat motor. And we're going to see who's going to win. But obviously the boat motor is going to win because blind Kevin Nash couldn't fucking shoot anything. We're coming to the end of this, guys. Brian, your city. Hey, man. Heard this one on another podcast and thought it would be a good one. If you had to program a horror marathon for TV on Halloween night, what movies would you show? That is I like that question a lot. That's a fun question. It's so tough though. Like, that's such a complicated answer. I don't know. Cause again, like part of me is like, I just like to experiment. I love to watch movies I haven't seen yet. I don't know. Well, here, I'll just tell you all the movies I chose because I only did 15 movies for the 31 days. And then the rest is like TV or specials or things like that. So I did Pulse by Kurosawa, which some of you are going to love. Rabid Grannies, WNUF Halloween special. It's kind of new. Return of the Living Dead. I would put Return of the Living Dead in my marathon. Trick or Treat, I would put in the marathon, which was the next movie. Of course, the Friday the 13th movies on Friday the 13th. You'd have to throw one of those in there. It's kind of like a grab bag. Like this year, I think I'm going to do 7 because I haven't watched that in forever. Like I barely remember it. Pumpkinhead would be on that list. I love Pumpkinhead. Abbott and Costello, Meet Frankenstein, definitely on the list. And my final few movies I had were House by the Cemetery, which I love. I would put that on the list too. I think that's like in my main rotation now. Maybe like a Suspiria, Night of the Living Dead original. I think every other year I'd rotate it though, like original 90s. And then, I know everyone puts Halloween on their list. I got to go Halloween 2 though. I just love Halloween 2 so much more. I don't know. It's a stupid thing, but Jaron and Stephen Walker. I love Jaron and Stephen Walker. Besides movies, what other media and horror genres do you like? Books, video games, YouTube series, etc. What titles made the biggest early impressions? What titles are you into right now? Besides movies, not a lot, honestly. like I said, I'm doing books on tape now, and I like those. Like Stephen King books are great. Like I know it's fucking cliche to say, but like I'm just getting into them. So, and as you know, I'll just say whatever. I made fun of Wes Craven when he died, so I will tell you how I feel about things. But those books are like really incredible. Like the way he writes, like Salem's Lot and like the conversations, the way he writes, it's just really, they're really cool. And my dad loved Stephen King, like so much, like obsessed with him when I was a kid. So I had all those books around. I just never like read them until now. Video games scare the shit out of me. I can't play them. I can't play them at all. YouTube series, I don't really do them. I don't know. It's really just movies for me. Like the idea of a horror movie is like what got me into horror. So I don't know. I just don't really stray from it. Like I like some of the TV series, but I don't know. They tend to draw out too much, like Walking Dead and stuff. I don't know. Like there's something great about like how finite they are. And I think that's why I like the audiobooks too. Cause like they have like some horror podcasts and things like that where they tell like long running stories, like really long stories. And like, the thing I always think about is like, is this ever going to come to an end? Like, is there ever going to be a fucking conclusion to these things? And there's no answer because they want to keep making podcasts. But that's why I really like start getting into the audiobooks now, is because I'm going to get a fucking ending to these books. And I really like that. I need to stop swearing. Yeah. So I don't know. But video games, they scare the shit out of me. Like scare the shit out of me. Why is this phone going off? What little known subgenre of horror movies would you like to see get more love? Well, found footage got a bad rap because they make shitty found footage movies. So I'd like to see somebody fix that. That would be cool. Cause I'm such a mark for found footage movies. Like I love them so much. Found footage. Honestly, I've been like exploring the body melts ever since we did, Street Trash, and I'm kind of obsessed with them, and I think somebody should explore doing another body melt movie in 2017. I think that would be really great. Well, that's really it. Oh, cannibals. Oh, furry fucking monsters. Will somebody please do that for me? Furry monster. Fuck this Cloverfield lizard shit. I was so mad when Cloverfield was like reptilian. Give me like a big furry dude. King Kong was awesome. Skull Island. What new or unreleased horror movies are you most excited about? Without even looking, that Happy Dead Day, is that what Happy Death Day? That looks fucking amazing. I'm pumped for that. The Snowman, I don't know if that's horror or not, but I like that. Creep 2. I'm excited for Jigsaw. I've always liked the Saw series. Like I don't think they're like good by any means, but I like them. Cult of Chucky's coming out. Not really like super into that. Obviously the new Halloween would be cool. I'm interested in that for sure. Fuck Jeepers Creepers 3, although that's already out, I think. Who gives a fuck? But yeah, I don't know. That's really all I could think of. I'm trying to pull up a list here, but you know, these people don't make it easy. Everything's a clickbait. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, that's it. I'm not really digging anything else. There's not, that's pretty much everything that's coming out though. So I guess I'm excited for everything. So, and of course my Gigi Allen movie, which is the best. Bonus. What's your favorite creepypasta story? I don't know if we ever told this on the show, but like one of like our early episodes, Joe read The Smiling Man to me off of Reddit. And, I was like genuinely terrified. It freaked me out so fucking bad. I couldn't get over it. I honestly couldn't get over it. Like I was shook. Like I didn't even want to go to my car. Like I was terrified. Okay. Joe, he said, I'm not going to read this. He says, is Piehole Nation a stupid idiot asshole? That is somebody that tweeted us for no reason. They don't even know we have a show. Just starting shit. And yeah, they were a fucking asshole. So I guess I did answer it. Kevin Birch, this is the final question for tonight. If you were going to introduce someone to the Alien franchise for the first time, would you show them Alien, Aliens, Prometheus, Alien Covenant, or would you go in order? Prometheus, Covenant, Alien, Aliens. So Kevin, great question. That's kind of like the Star Wars machete order question, right? Like some people, like, how do you show your kids Star Wars? Do you show them chronologically, which would mean you have to show them the fucking new ones first? Or do you show them the way they were released? Right? It's a good question. But the answer, and I don't know how we would do this with Aliens, but I'm just talking Star Wars here for a minute. The answer is the machete order, right? And it's like a combination, but you take out the garbage. And you can, like, it's like this, it's really cool. You guys should read about it. Cause especially if you have kids and you're like debating how to show it to them, the machete order is the way. And it takes the best parts of like the newer movies and kind of blends it in. And then they kind of like put them in between the older movies, almost as like a flashback, and it makes sense. It works out perfectly. It works out amazing. So I would do something like that probably with Aliens, because Prometheus is long and boring, but yeah. So I would do something like that. But I mean, ultimately, I'd probably just show them Alien, Aliens, Alien Covenant. All right, guys, that's it for the questions. Thank you all so much for sending those in. We really appreciate it. I really appreciate it. It's a solo Sean show. It fucking sucks. And come back in a couple of weeks when Joe's back. And again, I think that's going to be the 24th. I'll probably going to do something next week I'm probably going to bring on a guest next week because I can't do this again. I really can't. It drains my fucking life. So I'll have a guest on next week to do an episode. And then the week after will probably be the live from Salem if I'm not dead. And then Joe will be back the following week. So pray for Joe to come back, please, guys. And that's it, guys. Thank you all so much. Patreon.com/IHateHorror. I'm not even going to plug anything because I feel bad about this episode. Just follow me at I Hate Horror Show on Twitter. I Hate Horror on Snapchat and Instagram. And rate, review, subscribe on iTunes. And if you do, send me an email, Sean@IHateHorror.com, and I'll send you some stickers. Oh, I Hate Hurricanes is still going on. There's so few stickers left. So if you do want to make a donation, I'm keeping it up till the end of the month and until we run out of stickers. So that's it. And if you did donate, your stickers are coming very, very soon. Very, very soon. So, guys, thank you all so much. For Joe, this is Sean. Stay weird. Thank you. Adios.